Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Podcast Pasta. That's a podcast that's like pasta, not the podcast that's about pasta. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today I am joined with Alexey Gorboot. You are a 2D artist. You're kind of known for having like this kind of old school style, very evocative of I guess I would say like the Silver Age era of comics or even like very old school D&D art. Alexei, how are you doing today?
Well, hello. Thank you very much for inviting me in your podcast. I'm I'm really great. I'm better and better. So thank you.
Well, again, thank you for coming on the program. So I just gave you a very brief introduction right now, but I guess if you want to kind of expand on it in your own words and explain what you do and what motivates the work that you put out.
Well, really and truly, I just love to draw, and I really love these old comics and all this retro stuff that surround me every day because I really love art from when I was a little boy, and I was looking for some fantasy comics and fantasy arts like Boris Vallejo and all those fantasy artists was around me from when I was about 7, 8 years old. So I decided to be an artist when I was really young. And in modern times, I really appreciate the social media that helps me to show my works to audience in all over the world. So it is like exhibition for me to show my works to the people. Every day I share my arts and I really happy and enjoy it every day. But most of all, I enjoy from creating the artworks. And really and truly, I use traditional techniques in my work. And maybe that's because that is the reason why my works looks so classical, because I use inks and brushes on my paper, and it looks like it was made years ago. I don't know how it happens, but it happens naturally.
No, I've had a few different artists come on this program, and they come from all different types of backgrounds. Some people pursuing art as more of a hobby. Others have been studying it for a while in college, or pursuing it as through like collegiate work. I guess what is your background in art? Is this something that you have studied like in a college setting, or is this something that you've only done purely as a hobby?
Well, that's a good question because I was started as the self-made artist. I read a lot of books of how to draw, and it was academical books like how to draw human figure, how to draw perspective, how to draw anatomy and stuff like this. And I read a lot of books like how to draw comics because I really love comics, and this sequential art is part of my soul, and this is the true love in me to make sequential art, because comics is like a form of storytelling, really a passion me. I don't know was it correct or not, but uh, I read a lot of books. And when I was 25, I decided to go and get a specific education in graphical design. So 4 years I was studying and finished the university, the architectural university in graphic design. So I use all those knowledge from the books, from academy, to in my work. And every day I try to learn something new. I learn every day, every hour. When I see the great art in the books, on the internet, I try to incorporate everything that I love in my work and to make it better. Well, it goes like this. Every day I learn something.
So, from my understanding, you didn't necessarily directly studied art; you studied architecture, right?
Oh no, I studied graphic design.
Oh, graphic design. Sorry,
Gra-
sorry. It's a little
yes,
late for me.
yeah, it is the uh, architectural academy.
Okay.
It is, but my subject was graphic design. In I was making logo, making identic, all this kind of stuff. You know, boxes for the candies and stuff like this.
Okay, and we are back. Alexey, you were talking about your influences in particular. You were influenced by, you said you had exposure to the TMNT comic, and you were talking about, I believe, like the early Judge Dredd comics as well.
Yes, yes,
Um,
and
so yeah, that's
mostly
it. Yeah, I'm
comics
sorry,
like.
go ahead.
Oh, no problem, no problem. Comics like Jack Kirby and John Buscema are my favorite ones.
Right, so like,
Hello.
probably like, uh, God, I can never, I can't remember, or I can never remember like Jack Kirby's prolific years. I think he was like 80s, 90s, or is it like 70s, 80s for him?
Well, my favorite Jack Kirby is from 70s,
70s.
from
Okay.
DC era, and yes, DC era when New Gods and stuff like Omak, those experimental things, when he started to write and draw and edit his own works, and this is the pure gold for me, from the energy, from this kind of storytelling specifics. I really love Jack Kirby from this era, from how he draws the figures and the motion and energy. This is really cool and inspire me.
And that's kind of interesting because now we're seeing like kind of a, I don't know how you'd say it, like kind of a resurgence of like a lot of properties that like Jack Kirby made famous in his heyday. For example, recently we had the release of like the Fantastic Four movie, and like that was very famously one of Jack Kirby's like largest, one of the larger properties they got a chance to like work on and help create. And so, even enough so to like have a dedication in the film form. So it's very interesting that to see someone like yourself like taking so much inspiration from him. Um,
Well,
so
mhm.
a lot of your work, I noticed that I believe right now you are like taking commissions to like draw pieces for people. How has that process been for you as an artist? Because I know some people see commissions as like a means to an end to like fund like the work that like basically like a job, right? Like they'd much rather be working on their own things, but you have to like take commissions as a means of like paying the bills. But as other people kind of enjoy it. So where do you fit into that? Like how has commission work been for you?
Well, for the last 10 years, I work as the professional comic book artist. And I'm really prolific in it because I draw about 20 books. And my main, um, well, this is my main doing. And this is where I live and pay my bills from drawing. Well, right now I take a lot of commission in fantasy arts, and it comes from all over the world. You know, I do arts um, from London, from England, from USA, from France, from Costa Rica sometimes, from all over the world. And I'm really happy and enjoy that my works can be in every part of the world. But uh, it was it was so naturally because uh, last 5 years, about 5 years ago, I've been working on the comic book series named The Ring of Darkness. It's the Russian comic book based on the Tolkien stories. So it was about 300 pages. And I start to share some pages from this comic book on my social. And a lot of people appreciate all those hobbits and dwarves and all those arcs and start to ask some commission something in something like this. And because of my love to fantasy art, I start to take all those commissions. And yes, it's my daily job. And when we finish our conversation, I will go back to my drawing board and start working on the book cover, fantasy cover, where the main hero slashing all those bad guys in the horned helmets with his giant sword and the moon on the background and all those mountain landscapes. This is what I love. And I'm really happy that I can work on it daily and I can pay my bills by working on it. So it's really happy for me. I'm really happy, you know?
No, I gotcha. You also said that part of like how you achieve kind of this old school style is basically using like traditional methods, traditional like ink on paper, right? Whereas a lot of modern artists naturally they use digital software. Think like I mean, I was gonna say GIMP because I use GIMP, but I know that's not like the go-to one for a lot of like digital artists. Anyways, a lot of digital artists use like tools, via on the computer. And so, I guess as somebody that prefers the more traditional methods, has there ever been any type of, I guess I would say, temptation to use digital, like to adopt more like newer methods for your work? Or have you always just been like, no, I'm just sticking with traditional? It's what I know and what I think is best for what I do.
Oh, thank you. That's a real good question. And this is a real popular question for me. This is one of the first question that people ask me when they see my works. Some people ask me, why don't you use digital drawings? Why don't you use Procreate? And my answer is, I love to use paper because I can see all my art at once. You know, I was well. I have the experience in drawing on iPad and Procreate, and the main problem that I get. So when you are drawing in Procreate, you can see the whole picture. You have to zoom to draw a little detail, and then get back and see the whole picture at once. And this is the main problem in my work because I want to see all the composition. The second problem is that when you work in digital, you can change something easily. For example, if you want, for example, imagine you are drawing the scene where the hero is flying on the dragon and the castle in the background. And once you decide, oh man, I don't like the dragon's head, I want to move it a little to the left or a little to the right, and you just move it and no problem. But when you are drawing on paper, you have, if you want to move the dragon's head to the left or right, you have to erase it and draw it again. And if you don't like it, you have to erase it and draw it again and again. So when you're working on paper, you have to draw it from the first from the first attempt, and it gets some disciple when you're drawing on paper because you if you want to draw something clearly, you have to draw it from the first attempt. You don't have the second chance. But if you want to change something, you have to erase and draw it for anew. So I think this is one of the problems that I don't use digital apps. And another one reason why I use traditional techniques because I love inking. Once I read Inking is Sexy in one of the books, How to Ink Comics. Well, I read a lot of books. in this field. It was like inking is a kind of something like fluid ink on paper. When you get your this is like playing music. You can play it digitally, or you can buy LP and all those scratches on record. There's a lot of reasons why I use paper, and most of all reasons is it is comfortable to me. Well, all those I say, all the things I said earlier, uh, is just the tip of the iceberg. But the main reason I really love to work on paper because it is easy for me to draw. I can see all the composition at once. I don't have to zoom and go back, zoom and go back. I can change something by using eraser. I can touch the materials, and I love the happy accidents when you work with the inking because you can touch brush when the brush is touching the paper, the line that comes from the brush. Every time it is different. Well, sometimes it is not predictable how will be that will be the result of the inking. Sometimes it happens like magic when you uh, put some inks, put some black spots, then you take some razor blades and a few lines, and you have wow. You never get these lines in digital inking because when I was working in Procreate, uh, I get a lot of brushes that imitate the traditional inking, but in result, I come up with the idea that none of those brushes can do that the original, traditional, physical materials can do. Well, so I was trying to work in digital, but I come back to traditional work. It was not so long, and I'm really happy with the result. Traditional work for me. I don't know. Maybe someone tell me that it is not their methods, but I use my method. Every artist come up with the method suits him best. I don't know. Everybody have to decide for him or she or how to work, how it is comfortable for them to work. Well, I don't know what to say more. I really
No, no,
love
no, no.
ink
Yeah,
and
no, that makes a lot of
and
yeah, that makes a
paper
lot of
and
sense. Yeah.
yes, I love the pencil works, my 2B pencil and my old school eraser. And when I go to nature drawing classes, well, I regularly try to visit nature drawing classes where we draw the nude models, male and female. Sometimes they dress up like uh, that in different images, like knights or from different eras. So I use my pencil on paper when I doing live model sketches, and sometimes I use inks and incorporate it in my um, work from sketches. Well, it's all traditional for me. Well, drawing art is traditional for me, not the digital. When I produce it. Well, thank you for your question.
No problem, no problem. I guess one section I kind of like to do here on this program is that we don't have a lot of like cross audience between like what you do and what I do. You obviously being an artist, me being a podcaster. I'm not sure necessarily how many people that are a fan of your work are going to come and listen here. If so, hi, I'm Podcast Pasta. I talk about media a lot, film, television, what have you. Um, but because of that, and because I'm not sure again how many fans of you are necessarily going to listen to this episode, I like to do this little section where I ask my guests, what is your most controversial opinion about like what you do. I guess as an artist, what do you think is your most controversial opinion about art that you don't think you would talk about in any other setting?
You mean the dark side of the drawings?
No, like any, I guess, critique that you have about like the industry that you work in that you feel you don't really get a chance to voice a lot because you're not really given a venue to voice it, just basically rant away.
Oh, the critics. Yeah, in fact, well, let me tell you something. Uh, I try to see only good things in everything because I know from the philosophic point of view, everything is like when you want to see some bad things around you, you will see only bad things. And when you want to see good things around you, you will see the good things. So it's hard for me to tell something bad because I try to see only good things. But it's a good question. I really love everything that's going on. I really love that comics are still alive and we have lots of indie comics because mainstream comics are great. There's a corporation behind it, but we also have indie comics. And in my opinion, indie comics are the golden part of the comic book industry right now because there are lots of independent artists and independent writers who try to create something new. Well, I really love when people try to show their um, creativity and try to do something that they really love from it goes from their heart. This is the great. But maybe I read a few times ago a post from Mike Mignola, the creator of Hellboy, and the idea was like artists and writers uh, try to create something new. Didn't you tired from change the clothes of the Superman or Batman or Spider-Man or superheroes from the mainstream? Try to do something new. Don't you want to create something really great from your imagination? I really love this idea, and I'm thinking about it from time to time when I see something coming from mainstream industry. I mean Western comic books. I don't talk about manga or European comics because it's a different field. I'm talking about American comics, where a lots of Wonder Woman and DC and Marvel comics. Uh, but on the other hand, there's something like Image Comics, who try to incorporate more creativity and more original ideas in comic books. Well, it's hard for me to tell that I don't like it. I really love everything. Well, I really love that Spider-Man is still alive and and inspire a lot of people. I really love to see original comics, indie comics, something crazy, or people who don't work in comics. They just do their commissions and post it on internet, on their social media, and share it to the world. Sometimes I open for me a lot of talented artists who don't work in comics but do some commissions, do some illustration, or just do it for fun. And I really love it. I love when people um, show their creativity, show what they have inside. Because uh, as for me, I do my arts like projecting what I love. I really love alt comics. I love alt D&D arts from TSR era, the old school like Clyde Caldwell, Larry Elmer, and man like the great Frank Frazetta, and try. I gone from the question. Yes, it's a different field. I know. I
No,
think.
no, no. Don't worry. Don't worry. You got the answer right. Well, we are
Okay.
approaching the 30-minute mark. I'm so sorry that we couldn't have more time to spend with you, Alexey. This has been a ton of fun. For everyone that stuck with us today, thank you so much for listening. Alexey, if you want to shout out where people can find your work and where they can support what you do, go ahead.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This is the first of all. I want to say thank you for listening, uh, because this is my really and truly this is my first podcast in English. So thank you very much. But if you want to check out what I'm doing, you can find me on Instagram or on X. It's Alexey Gorboot. It's Alexey Gorboot 2 O. So check out my pages and you can see what I'm doing. A lot of old school classical fantasy art, most of all. And thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right. And take care, everyone. Remember, you are what you create, I think. I don't know. Good day, everybody.